Hello and welcome to another Toonkind at 12 FPS. My name is Candlestick, and I'm excited to be back. This is my first one in a while, and I'm excited to be playing another game with one of my absolutely favoritist people in the world. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Aw. Hi everybody, I'm Wiz. I'm deeply flattered. Oh, well, yeah, welcome everybody to this lovely PS. It shouldn't be too heavy, theoretically.
Well, yeah, theoretically, there has been some stuff that they've both been through that did get pretty heavy, but this is a character introduction, so.
Yeah, like they're not gonna go off into too much. Theoretically. They have surprised us before. This is D&D, this is just what happens.
Yeah, that's definitely the case. You can never know for sure.
Absolutely. Goodness, golly gosh. So, why don't you paint us a word picture, Candle?
All right, well, we start off in University City. And not just University City, but the university in University City, where someone who is very used to universities, but not necessarily this particular university recently, has had to travel a fair distance to try and sort out the beloathed paperwork. um,
Done. Done. Done!
yeah, Crystal is here. She's not particularly happy. She's been trying to get a special equipment that big university has, order list special niche equipment that she needs for a particular case, and she her application for it went missing, and then the second one got misplaced, and now they've been like, after the third one they're like, can you just come in, like, we think it's a running gag at this point. She's like
Fortunately, the people at the university are trying to be apologetic and understanding. We know this is a real great inconvenience. We're very sorry, Dr. Everlight, but this is just what's happening. We don't have that much control over it.
yeah, there's there's probably some, like, you should know protocol by now about these sort of things. You need to reorganize your filing system, and why didn't you send me a notification that this was happening after the first time?
There's been a lot of things happening at the university. Like there was a whole attack and a lot of staff restructuring. I've only been here for 3 weeks. I'm so sorry, Doctor. I'm trying to get it sorted out for you as quick as I can.
Oh god. I feel bad, but that's probably not actually translating to Crystal, who is currently like, actually, I'm gonna roll an insight. See how bad she feels about making this poor worker, or whether she's just too hung up in her own anger. Starting off strong, that was a 2. They're getting the full-on lecture about, like, you think I'm not busy too, I'm well aware of the problems happening here, but the simple letter is not that hard.
Oh gosh. Can you roll her a perception? I'm gonna roll a randomly assigned sleight of hand.
Sure.
That's
Oh god.
probably Alright, that's surprisingly high, given I only gave her a +1. Okay. Alright, cool. Well, Crystal does not see this poor little, probably casual intern pushing like a button going, help, 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 under the desk. Because she's too busy going off.
the toon gag of pull out the whiteboard or the chalkboard from the side and just like the lists down the side of it of like, this is how you deal with these problems, this is how you organize it. If you've been here 3 weeks, who has been teaching you? Is there anyone above you, like anyone above you who is giving you these instructions, or is it just incompetence all the way up?
Oh, gravity! Oh, poor girl.
I feel so bad for this cleric. I'm sorry. But this is very true to Crystal's character. She can just steamroll other people when she's on a mission.
Oh dear. I think because they have been building back up the staff now that they've sort of dealt with the mind controlling dragon situation. But just for the sake of the argument, I'm going to say that everyone else was busy. So it kept going up the chain until someone has gone, okay, and it come out of her office. And it's just coming down the stairs. And do you want to roll another perception?
Sure. Do you want to roll a perception as well?
I would be delighted to do so.
I might need to swap my dice at some point, but this is funny.
Actually, I have Sally's dice right here. What am I doing? Oh, wow. She is in full rant, isn't she?
Yeah. That's a 2, a 2, and a 3. Oh, God.
Okay, what was that? That's a 2. What you perceiving? Okay, so that's a 14. That's not too bad.
You hear her probably from about halfway down the stairs on the flight above.
Yep. Okay. She might be moving a little bit quicker. It's like, not sure I'm about that. She's just gonna come up to the desk and she's gonna stop at a very polite distance and just sort of stand there for a second. She's got her hands behind her back, and when it becomes apparent that Crystal hasn't noticed her, she's just going to interrupt the tirade. I'm like,
to be fair, it's more of a like half of a lecture and half of a tirade. Like I think she's like taken it upon herself to like be
give
like,
this person some training.
yeah, basically, like she's completely moved on from the okay. It's not just the usual toon hate paperwork kind of thing. This is actual serious, like she doesn't know what she's doing and is just like info dumping on this worker.
Oh, criminy. I think there's just going to be this pause, and then Sally will just sort of go, is there a problem, Dr. Everlight?
Is the like stop halfway in the like that, like there's a moment of like silence, like she's, and then it all gets shoved away and mm, ah um uh Headmistress Alamos, I'm sorry, um am I in your way?
Not at all. I was simply coming to investigate the ruckus happening in the foyer. Is everything all right?
Ah, yes. No, that I've been trying to get this equipment for 2 months now, and my applications keep seemingly going missing, and I was asked to come down here in person to figure out what was going on with that.
Hmm. That is rather unusual, though I'm sure you can appreciate that a lot of our staff are new, and including myself. So, I would appreciate if I understand that it is frustrating, but if you could exercise a small amount more patience with my staff, please.
Right. No, you're right. I got carried away. I'm sorry. That was not appropriate.
And she's just gonna make a gesture towards the poor hapless casual and just be like, I don't believe I am the one you should be apologizing to.
There's a nod, and then she turns to the hapless employee and is like, I apologize for taking out my anger on you. You were doing a well enough job given the complete lack of attention you have been given. If you need any help with it, feel free to ask me. I can give you some insight.
Thank you.
Just a curt nod, and then she's gonna turn back to Sally. With a
Okay. Out you go.
oh
I
good,
love
oh
her.
good.
Don't interrupt. Yep.
Yeah, it's fine. We're not professionals here. Yeah,
She
she's
should be in bed. It's nearly 9 o'clock. Golly.
yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, she'll turn back, like give her a nod, turn back to Sally, and well, since you're here anyway, if it's not too much of a bother, would it be too much trouble to ask for your help? It is kind of gotten fairly pressing at this point for me to get that equipment.
Of course. Which school are you getting the equipment from, if I may ask?
Okay, and here I've got to figure out what school it is. They've got the they're the
They're
different
based on the
classes.
classes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So probably the wizard school. So
Mhm.
that would be the wizard school.
Ah, of course. Well, I can certainly send a message there myself, and with the seal of the Headmistress, it tends to proceed a little bit faster. Why don't you come up to my office and we'll see what we can organise?
Uh, thank you. Yes, that would be very much appreciated.
And she's going to make a gesture towards the stairs.
Is it? Yeah, she'll follow with a with a very with a just back over her shoulder. Thank you for your time.
Poor woman.
Oh god, I love her, but her people skills are pretty atrocious.
Lol. That's so funny. Oh dear. All right. So Sally will lead Crystal up the stairs to the headmistress's office, which is quite a ways up, but like not in a comical I'm gonna make you roll a con for the stairs kind of way.
I'm glad.
Uh because we're all nerds here. Um uh but yeah, so do you want to roll a perception for the office? Because
Sure.
I think you have been in here before, but that was briefly.
Yeah, okay, I'm switching my dice. That was a 1.
Wow, it is bullying you.
That's better. That was a 16.
Much better. Okay.
Okay,
Um,
plus perception, so that'll be, I think that's a 22.
nice. All right. So Sally has been busy in here, for lack of a better phrase. So it was in the process of her cleaning it up, when all of the shenanigans happened. Before, because like there was all sorts of things that she had to deal with, like a pompous dragon who didn't have any respect for books, which is just not something you want to be doing around a cleric of a god of books.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, um,
That'll really
but
piss off some people at the university, that's for sure.
yeah, absolutely. But yeah, so she has definitely cleaned up the place since the whole clock tower schmozzle. It's the walls of books that are in here actually look like they've been starting to be looked after. You can actually see this line where some of them are dusty and damaged, and she's just sort of progressing through the bookcases. Um, and she like there's also like a little tiny little work table off near a window where there is bookbinding equipment. So Sally knows how to do bookbinding and is doing some repair work on some of these books.
Oh, yeah. There's probably a bit of a grimace because like Crystal also is like, how could you do that to these like to books kind of thing? But
Mm,
also, it's probably not the first time she's seen a book that's been very much damaged. Um, so there's probably like a, I see you have your work cut out for you.
in more ways than one, yes. The the room itself and the university at large were mistreated in many different ways. So we must heal what we can. But please, take a seat. And there's like a small coffee table and some armchairs.
Yeah, she will. There is definitely there's definitely like a, yeah, I really probably should have taken that into account before and I didn't look on her face like, yeah, she does know what's going on here. She should have known better, and there's the before she'll take a seat.
Oh dear. Um, and Sally will sort of be looking through the stacks of papers and some binders and stuff on and around her really big desk. And oh, let's see, equipment hire, Wizards College. Is it big equipment, Doctor?
um no, it should be more regular sized. It's the and now I need to make something up. Maybe something like a um hmm like an arcana sampler or something like that can split um like more than just like a regular identifier of like magic sources down.
Oh, okay. To try and like figure out not just the school like like detect magic would, but like something a little bit more specific and robust or something.
Yeah, yeah, like individual like a readout of like the school of magic, the type of being that use like created it, the like markers of the different spells, like things like that.
Yeah, that sounds magic and fantasy and vague enough for the purpose of the exercise.
Yeah.
And Sally will sort of she'll grab her quill and she'll write a few things down. And she's actually written it on a buddy plane, but it's like a buddy plane made with uh the university stationery.
Yep, yep. So it's got
Um
like the official seal on it.
yeah, like yeah, the letterhead and everything. And so she'll just quickly write that one down. And she's just penning this to someone at the college, at the Wizards College, and then she'll very delicately fold it up, and she'll just cross over to the the window. But she'll actually run like hold the piece of paper out to Crystal first. It's like, is this the correct piece of equipment that I've written here?
I'm not gonna roll anything for this one. I think that she would know what it is.
Oh
um,
yeah, no, 100%.
so like there's like the like someone who is very intently making sure to like double check everything because she doesn't want to go through this again. And she's sure that Sally and the university don't want to go through this again. So
Yeah. It's like we just want to get this right for you, yeah.
yeah. And then she'll nod and no, that looks appropriate. Thank you.
And she'll nod and then send it out the window off on its way before gently closing the window again and then sitting down. I apologize that we were not able to facilitate your request in a more timely fashion.
That's thank you. I appreciate it, but also I do understand. I am sorry for blowing up before. Just I tend to get stressed when timers get delayed, and this is people's lives that get affected by it, and I'm sorry.
No, it's quite all right. It can be difficult to keep one's head when the stakes are so high.
Yes, I'm at least grateful that it's a more normal case, or as normal as my work usually gets. It's just it just like the strangle hands motion of the like the it's not even it's a it's gotten to become a gag at this point, and I don't want those sort of things get out of hand far too fast, and I do not have the time for it.
I take it your work has been a little bit out of the ordinary, then.
uh yeah, it always has been a little bit unusual. Actually, I think it's been a little bit more quiet than normal, but that's not exactly saying much because there was so much happening before. And things at least are a little stable for a while now, at least until something else happens. Eventually, it'll always happen.
I have come to notice that, yes. I'm afraid that my understanding of what is normal in these cases, I feel like may be a little bit skewed, given as since coming to mainland Anquell, it's been one thing after another.
I would hesitate to call anyone's normal in Toon in Inkwell, to be honest. um, how have you been? I yeah, haven't well, I suppose we haven't really formally been introduced, but
No, we didn't really get the opportunity when you were here last.
huh, yeah, kind of got our priorities moved in a different direction.
Hmm, yes. And unfortunately, that has not come to a head. So there remains work to be done.
Hmm, there's always work to be done.
Well, there's some work that I prefer over others, but here we are. We can only do what we can do.
I suppose.
So, what is it that you are working on that is so dire? Are you able to speak of it?
It's mm, not dire in the sense of um, urgency, the same way that, like, the case we're both involved in is, but it there's a particular curse spell affecting some uh, members of an adventuring party in a hospital in Toontown, and it the people there haven't been able to figure out of two very similar but quite different cases for it, and well, they're stuck there. So
Oh. I can see why you need the sampler in that case.
yes, but at least it's just a matter of waiting rather than not waiting will make the situation worse, which should not be the improvement that it is, but here we are.
Yes. If only all of them had such a relaxed time frame.
You know, my life has gotten abnormal in the last few years as well, honestly, so.
Well, before coming to the mainland, my life was quite quiet and sheltered. But, well, I was whisked away by a handsome man, wasn't I?
There's I'm gonna roll a deception, see how she can hold her poker face on this. You can very clearly see the, like, kind of skepticism of, I do not understand why you would ever move for the, for the case of love. And, I don't know, does she know that Sally is Scribbles, um, like, that Sally and Scribbles are together?
You know what? Probably not.
Yeah.
Because, canonically in the timeline, Silly and Scribbles are actually married by this
I
point.
wasn't sure if they were married yet or not.
Yeah, we keep planning on doing a just before the wedding FPS, but
Aw.
time has not allowed it. But no,
Yeah.
technically they get married in winter of this year, and because Anquel follows the US and the UK, so it's cold
Ah,
there
yeah,
now.
yeah.
Yeah, so they're married now.
Oh, that's sweet. Good for them. But yeah, like, she's not going to say anything out loud, but it's very clear on her expression that that she does not understand that concept in the slightest.
Mm. Silly will just sort of maybe give it just a small little chuckle. Like, your expression reads of skepticism.
Um, don't get me wrong. I know people who have done the same, but I doubt I could ever move somewhere because of a person.
It wasn't that simple.
Hmm. These things tend not to be, but not not my business.
Oh, I'm not shy about talking about it. While it wasn't because I found Scribbles attractive that I left the island. He's very charming, and it made listening to him as an outsider when the only people who I had ever encountered who were not Pokemon-y at that point in time was Detective Stagehand and her comrades when they came to the island to rescue my brother.
Ah,
So the experience I had had with people who were more different was quite limited. But it was very easy to listen to, and he, well, I'm sure you'd be familiar as a wizard. He loved books and knowledge just as much as I did, which certainly helped.
so I just rolled a history.
How's that going for her? Oh, splendidly! Yes! Yes! Okay.
So she's picked up, I think, several details. She's definitely picked up on the names of people she knows. I think she's probably from that role, as well as what she can see, has been able to put together that she's probably talking about Rai as her brother.
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
Um, and well, doesn't that story also hit a little bit close to home for some stuff that she's heard from her own parents? So yeah, that's definitely not making her have complicated feelings at all, but she does at least like appreciate a little bit more of the um wanting like oh yeah, no, that's still very complicated. She has very complicated feelings on that matter. I think that
Is she gonna say any of them out loud?
oh god, it's probably like I'm gonna go with that 6 in Deception. There's like a very interesting facial like journey that she's going on.
Alas. Oh dear.
Uh, so I think like there was definitely like several times when names were dropped like a hold on a second kind of like thing, and when she mentioned like to rescue her brother who'd been kidnapped, like her eyebrows had definitely shot up, and then um and then like as Sally's explaining like what she sees and in scribbles and like the things that he brought to her life, like there's just the like her expression, like the eyebrows just going down and down and down and down, like this almost like squinting at her like at the end of the
Just gonna pause. Is everything alright?
um hold on, I need to roll something, figure out which one she's going with. Yeah, all right. There's a when you say scribbles, do you mean scribble scrambles?
Yes.
Ah, I've met him, worked with him before. He's friendly and good at what he does.
He is very good at what he does. And friendly is definitely one of the correct words to describe him. I'm sure many people would agree. I do.
Hmm. Yes. So I'm trying to figure out um like my brain was just handing me like the yeah, he does seem friendly. He managed to befriend a bunch of people while ninjas were attacking, but and I don't think she would say that. I mean, maybe she would. Actually, what she might say is, no, yes, my sister seemed to think that he was, very amicable when she met him.
Oh, I don't believe I'm familiar with your sister.
Ah, yes, probably not, though you might be familiar with the situation that they met. There was a museum and ninjas involved, I'm told.
Ah, yes, that was happening at around about the same time as the attack on the university.
Yes, it was.
Hmm.
Small world.
Eh, yes. No, I do remember Scribbles telling me about that. It was, well, I'm glad that, in any case, everyone came out of it all right.
Yes, glad that it didn't seem to be as. I'm trying to think of the right word here. I'm glad that it didn't seem to be quite as harrowing as our adventure as well.
Hmm. Well, so far as any reports from Scribbles, there hasn't been any long-lasting consequences on that front. In terms of the uh, ninja altercation, so that is quite the relief. But sometimes these things can linger, and sometimes they can be a one-off, once-off occurrence.
Yes, I'm quite glad it wasn't more major than that. I think there are a fair few of us that are grateful that it didn't balloon into something bigger.
Hmm. It's almost a shame that I wasn't able to see that particular event, though. The effects on the magic users that Scribbles was reporting back after the fact was. It sounded incredibly fascinating.
And I need to roll again. Oh yeah, no, okay. Yeah, all right. In that case, I'm gonna roll something else. Yeah. Okay. uh, yeah. Crystal is just gonna nod, and yes, it was interesting hearing about it from my sister. And that was a deception that she rolled. She is not mentioning extra details that she is aware of about the situation, and Cassie in particular, that might have led to some of the effects.
Okay. You don't need to roll an insight to see the expectant sort of expression on Sally's face. She's just sort of gone, "You are not doing a very good job at hiding things from me today." So it's like, go on.
That was an 18. She actually rolled decently well.
Oh dear.
Oh
All
god.
right. Well, if that's going to be the deception, I suppose I better contest that, huh?
Yeah, I'm happy to give you advantage if you want. That would be funny.
All right. Well, let's see what happens. Pretty good at this, I think. Oh, yeah, you are. uh 19.
Yeah, you haven't known her very long, but you've been able to already kind of clock some of her tells.
Oh, dear, dear. She's just going to tilt her head to one side and is there more to it than that?
um, the I think as like Sally realized that she wasn't telling her everything, there was this like kind of that confrontational stare of the yeah, what are you gonna do about it kind of thing. But when she actually asks the question, there's sorry, what did she say again? I lost it.
Was there more to it than that?
mm, yes and no. It's more of a odd magic, magical artifact mixing with an odd magical source.
How odd. Odd in what way?
If you don't mind, that is not really my place to say.
Of course, I understand.
With that insight, though, probably not hard to put a connection together of who the source might be and why Crystal is getting all of a sudden so defensive.
Let me just draw a history to see whether or not Scribbles mentioned anything. Oh, Sally, I love rolling the stats you're actually good at. Okay. That was a 16 on the die. Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
22.
Yeah. No,
So,
not only
yeah.
you have the name of the person who got the artifact attached to, and um probably enough other details that you can place together that this is probably Crystal's sister.
You know what? You know what I just remembered?
Hmm.
Scribbles isn't the only person Sally has access to on a regular basis who was there. Because the kids are still staying at the
Oh my
castle.
god, they are!
And
Actually, she's probably met Cassie. Because Cassie would be the one dropping in to check in on Missy, probably.
gosh. Yep, potentially. Goodness golly. Okay,
And
well,
Cassie is chatty, so she would almost certainly have mentioned her older sister Chris.
oh gosh. I think I'm not gonna roll a deception for Sally because she's trying to be sociable. So she's not like trying to work right now. Um so I think Crystal can probably see the dots kind of connect because not only did Scribbles come home going like after all of the attack on the university etc it's like, well, my day was this, I'm sorry your day was so shit. But then after they rescued the kids, Missy, Mad Lad, and Joy are staying at their castle,
Yeah, yeah.
and there is no way that she would have not had at least one conversation with all of them basically every day since they came to live with them for a bit.
Oh
So
yeah.
there's a 100% chance that Missy would have gone, and I fought ninjas!
Yeah, no, it would have come up probably because like I don't like Joy and Madland weren't there, but Scribbles was, and they're like, "Oh, so how did you meet Scribbles?" Is like we fought ninjas together, and she starts acting it out like, and then I went to challenge the big bad guy who had this really pointy armor and looked stupid to a duel.
Oh my god, yes. And, and like, she has absolutely no chill, so she would have there would have been just enough embellishment to make it more exciting, but like for a good portion of that she had nat 20 stealthed off, so Scribbles cannot confirm nor deny what she said.
Oh
Oh, I
my
love that.
god, that's
Oh
so great.
god. Ugh, there is a certain joy about having more than one character involved in shit.
Yeah.
Oh, blimey. Oh dear. But yeah, okay, so Krista would be able to just sort of see the parts just sort of slot together as Sally sort of straightens up. Actually, I believe I might actually have met your sister, now that I think of it. Is Does she have stained glass wings?
There's definitely like a straightening up and the probably putting the pieces together because she knows where Missy is as well, and the like she doesn't keep up with that stuff as often as she probably should, but she still does keep up with it. And so there's like the oh yeah, yeah, she probably does visit Missy, and the and like piecing together if Missy is staying with Scribbles and Sally is staying with Scribbles, yeah, that would make sense. And the yes, that's her.
Ah, now I understand. Missy is very fond of her.
That sounds about right. Yeah, she's always been good with kids.
It is pleasant. having such a full house. The castle is beautiful and to our specifications, but quite empty at times.
Yes, I suppose it would be with just two of you. There's obviously like the I actually don't know how many of you there are. Um, it's hmm.
It is slightly fluctuating, if I'm honest. There's Scribbles and myself, of course, but his son Scratch is also there full time, and we also have our daughter Marigold, but
Oh
she comes and goes. So,
yes, that Marigold, Warforged.
yes.
Yes, I we share a room at Juniper and TOC's.
Ah, well, that is good. She does like to timeshare between all of her different parental figures, so she's not always there, but when she is, it's always a delight. Being as she is Warforged, she clip clops across the flagstones of the castle quite pleasant.
No, that I can imagine. Yes, it's she always has a certain energy whenever she's around. She enjoys learning how to cook from me.
Ah, you are where that has come from.
I suppose so.
Well, you would be very pleased to know that she takes every opportunity to practice when she is at home, so.
It's just in my head. The good for her.
Yeah, watch me put words in Comet's mouth. I
The
can't imagine that Marigold would learn how to cook and then not want to show off.
oh yeah, she would. She would. There's also the other funny one of um I'm yes, I'm glad to hear that. She has taken to um uh sorry, let me start that again. Um well, I'm glad to hear that. I've been starting to read some of my textbooks to her recently. It's at her request.
Oh, yes, she does love to be read to. We have quite the collection here, so there's never a shortage of material.
Yes. I honestly it's a little bit funny that mm, someone so very different has ended up with not one but two households full of similar sort of people.
I suppose there must be something about our kind of people that she finds comforting.
Perhaps. Well, perhaps it's the world having a laugh.
Potentially, but I don't think there's anything funny about it. Only joyful. That there are so many people in Ankwell that think the same way I do. It's actually quite a relief.
Hmm. Are you going to pry? Yeah, okay, she is. Um, the not many with similar habits where you grew up.
It's not that necessarily. I am a a Pokemani, and our patron deity is unbekannt. So, books and writing are very important to us, but circumstances being what they were, things did not go as smoothly as he might have wanted. Okay. Good night, Bubba. She's
Aww.
made me a card and is putting it under the door.
Oh, it's so cute.
Ah. It is nearly 9:30. Why is she still...
If you do need a minute, just let me know.
I think that might be good. Give me 1 minute. I'll see if I can get her to go to bed.
Alright, alright. See you soon. And now the audience is left with me. Not that I think I'll be very interesting in this time period because I have no idea what to say. This has been fun. I adore playing Crystal. She's so funny. And Sally is awesome. And I'm glad they're finally meeting. And let's see, maybe I can compliment other people that have been mentioned. Um, Comet's Marigold is an absolute delight, and I love her. She is a sweetheart. Um, and um, Winona's Scribbles is also great. Um, Winona's got a lot of fun characters. I also really like Mad Lad. Mad Lad is great. I adore him. He's just a chaotic bag of gremlin energy. Um, V Wild's Detective Lynn stagehand is also amazing and so cool and very well voice acted. It's like anytime hearing it is really cool and just makes you grin so much. And Wiz has plenty of other amazing characters like Rye and Missy and Chifley, all of whom I adore and love interacting with whenever I get the chance. Um, who have I missed? I think that might be everyone that was mentioned so far. They're all great.
Oh my god, she's gonna rub my teeth with how sweet she is. Holy dooly.
Nice.
Oh.
I left a little ramble while you were gone on how much I love everyone's characters.
Ah! Surprise ramble for me to enjoy later.
Yep.
Cool. Okay, I completely lost my train of thought. What was the thing I said? Oh, okay. Yep, now I remember.
Oh yeah.
So Sally sort of just folds her hands in her lap, and then my community suffered greatly, and they weren't even aware of it. So the way that Unbekant had intended us to behave was not what was happening. And people fell into different habits.
Hmm. Another reason why you left?
In a way, we value knowledge and information, and we have a building on each of the two Pokemon Islands known as the Hall of Origin, which is a library as well as, I suppose, a church. And I had read every book in that hall over the course of my life before Scribbles came to the island. And he tells me that there is a whole section of books missing because our collection had been altered by my father to remove druidic magic. And so there was no reference to anything of that magic type at all available to anyone on that island. So I left with scribbles to fill that gap, and I amassed quite a collection before that whole thing blew up in quite a way.
Hmm.
Fortunately, though, the books that I had collected were able to find their places on those library shelves, so it was not in vain.
I'm glad to hear that. It's the sad reality that many places never recover from things like that.
Mm. We have made great efforts to make sure that Jotos and Cantos both recovered. And so far, it seems to be going quite well. The last time we were there, and we spoke to one of the leaders of the community, and it all seemed to be going quite well.
That's good to hear. If you ever need any help with something on that front, feel free to reach out. Magic does tend to be my specialty.
Thank you, Dr. Everlight. I appreciate that. For now, the two Pokemon Islands seem to be stable and happy. So, fortunately, we don't have to focus our attention there too much. But someone of your persuasion might enjoy it as a vacation spot.
I have not been to the Pokemon Islands before. It could be interesting. And stars know I could use a vacation.
Perhaps when this whole situation with the imminent immortal peril that we're dealing with is over, then we could all do with a vacation, perhaps.
That sounds nice.
Goodness knows that Scribbles and I have had to put off our honeymoon because of it.
Ah, congratulations.
Oh, thank you. It's still quite fresh, so.
Well, I'm glad that you seem happy with your decision.
I am. And so is my god, which is also a relief.
I'm gonna roll something here.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah, she's she's not gonna say anything. Like, she does look thoughtful at that, but won't say anything.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't know if she'll say anything else. I'm just scrambling to like, what would she move the topic to if she's not gonna say anything on that?
Mm.
But yeah, I'm just trying to think. Unfortunately, like the things I'm coming up with, I'm not sure that she would want to touch either because she's like, I don't want to know about their married life. Nothing against them, but like, she's like, look, I don't want to deal with people's romance.
She is ace all the way down.
But she's not actually. That's the funniest thing.
Oh my gosh, Crystal, you're just awkward as hell.
I figured out not that long ago that she's actually bi. She just like incredibly is like, I do not have time for romance in my life. Leave me alone. Oh,
Oh
God,
gosh.
I love the duality because I also think that Cassie is ace, but she just loves romance so much.
Bless. I love these two. They're such dorks.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Now I'm drawing a mental blank. Hmm.
All right. I think
Uh,
I know. I think there's like a bit of a maybe an awkward pause, and then the um. So, how have you been finding Inkwell?
Angular Lodge is quite an amazing place. It is both somehow fantastical yet so familiar. The Pokemani are still toons after all, and some things are universal between us. But the mainland is just so much bigger. I think University City itself is, you can appreciate, is not a small city. I think it is bigger than the island of Jotos, so being able to roam so far is quite amazing. And makes me quite thankful for teleportation circles.
Yes, I'm. Given how much I need to move around for my work, I'm quite grateful for teleportation circles too. I've definitely heard that coming from a small island to Inkwell, the main continent, is definitely a culture shock.
It was and it wasn't. There were parts that confused me, but not so much in the I didn't understand what was happening, but my father made it seem like there was no good on the mainland. He crushed any wanderlust of our people so that we would not question him so much, so that we would stay where it was safe and where he had control. And so coming here was challenging everything I knew growing up. I see that, 13.
That might be another deception.
Insight time. Yeah, she got a 15 on the dice.
Yeah, yeah.
And be if I did math, 21.
Yeah, no, you definitely catch that flicker of um that hits close to home. Perhaps not in the same way as with Sally. Perhaps on the opposite side. Um, and
Hmm.
there's a bit of a nod, and I'm sure that mustn't have been easy.
I have come to understand that I should assume that my father's every action was damaging to someone in some capacity, whether it was me or my brother or anyone under his care. Even if he thought he was right, it was not the correct course of action. What needed to happen and what he allowed to happen were not the same thing. And that is why he is in prison.
I'm just trying to think of what she would say to that. Like, I think that she is silent of for a little bit, and then just does he regret what he did?
No,
Hmm. It's a shame.
it is. We were unable and uninterested in having him at our wedding, and it is sad. At such a milestone moment of my life he couldn't participate in. But those are the consequences for what he decided he was going to do and the path he was going to follow. And much as he is my father, I only entertained it for a very short moment.
Hmm. I'm just trying to figure out how to word this. I suppose that is your right. Though I'm sorry that things couldn't work out more favorably. It's a hard pill to swallow when the things you're so sure of need to slap you in the face with such dire consequences in order for you to, in order for it to change.
And the change that resulted from all of that has been incredible. You can find Pokemon anywhere now. There are so many of us that have looked at our new freedom and gone, I like that. I want to see that. And have gone to do it. Rather than worrying about the dangers or whether it's proper. And I find that quite pleasant. We're not some rarity on the mainland anymore. And I find joy in that.
Yes, I suppose you do. I hope that it continues to work out as well as it has for you all.
Thank you. And hopefully the things that you are working through are as successful as that endeavor.
Can I roll an insight on that?
Mm-hmm.
Ah, yeah. That's a 10.
Okay. Again, she's not working. So she wouldn't have to try very hard to beat that if she cared to. Because she is a politician.
Mm-hmm.
Um but like she's trying to be friendly and have a dialogue with this person who shares a lot of like common acquaintances and stuff. But it's not it was 100% a leading question. It was absolutely I've been talking about myself a lot. Why don't you have a turn?
Yeah, I think the reason I rolled that insight is because I wasn't unsure and thus like I think Crystal wouldn't be sure either of whether that was about the work that she mentioned before of like her actual legitimate job, or whether it was to do with the fact that she is obviously still working through personal stuff that hit that kind of mirrors a little bit on a smaller scale what Silly is talking about.
Yeah, a little bit like that too. Like it's like opening up that dialogue, making it obvious. Here, the floor is yours. You can have your moment. What like that thing in common? That's how this conversation stuff works, right? We can social like normal people, right?
Yeah, yeah, she is supposed to be getting better at sharing things with other people.
And like she knows that Sally's not some random wacko, so
Yeah, yeah. Um, I think there's a little bit of a sigh and um, I hope so too. I'm, if I'm honest, I suppose that story hits a little bit closer to home since I myself was fairly protective of my sister going out and exploring Inkwell when she wanted to.
ah, I see. Well, if it puts your mind at ease, I am quite certain, with what I know of your character, that you would not have resorted to the things that he did in order to make sure that people stayed where he wanted them to.
Hmm. Perhaps, perhaps not. I still used harsher methods than I should have to try and get her to stay. And in the end, it hurt us both far more than was really needed. I'm just lucky that I could fix my mistakes.
And that is what sets you apart from him. He has never been willing or interested in doing so. The people he has hurt, he doesn't care to make amends in any capacity. But you are putting in the effort, Dr. Everlight, and that makes all of the difference.
I would like to think so. But it's still depressing, perhaps, that it needs to happen this way.
Perhaps so. But your sister has only ever spoken fondly when she has been at our home. So your efforts are working.
To be honest, I wonder if that's more to do with her than me, but I'm glad. I have been trying, and well, I suppose that's all I can do at this point.
Indeed. She is full of life, isn't she?
There's definitely a snort and uh, that's one way of putting it. Yes, like a bit of laughter. The She has always been very friendly, much much like what I saw from Scribbles.
She is very exuberant, and the children always love having her around, and she's very willing to spend time with them, which Given the things that we are in the middle of, it is appreciated that she's able to come and give them some attention that we just are stretched too thin to be able to accommodate for.
She's good at that, and good at picking up on cues about things going on that she's not aware of.
I only hope that we are able to end this situation in a way that more people won't be at risk afterwards.
I do too. And as much as I worry about it, it comforts me to know that there are a lot of good people working very hard to make sure it happens.
We are very fortunate with the people that are in on this.
Yes.
And if we are lucky, it can all be done. And all these people who live here need not have their lives completely upended.
I would trust several of them with my life. I have in the past.
As would I. And also have. I think that is my favourite thing about Anquil. Is for all the things that happen on a regular basis. The people here are worth their weight in gold.
Yes, they are. As long as you're willing to appreciate that for what it is. Far too many don't.
And that is a shame.
Yes, it is. Though the continent has a funny way of getting through to a lot of them in the end.
Well, everyone likes a happy ending.
Yes, yes, I suppose they do.
So all we can do is work towards ours.
Sorry, I'm just trying to figure out. Sorry, I know I do this a lot, but um, it's just sort of like a bit of a contemplative look, and there's always an opportunity to move towards a happy ending, but it's less about the ending, I find, and more about the journey and the people you go on it with.
That's quite profound.
Thank you. Took me a while to learn it myself.
Well, the learning is the fun part.
I like learning more than most, but sometimes there are things even I do not wish to learn.
That is true. Having said that, should there be anything you do wish to learn, you are always welcome here.
I thank you. That is deeply appreciated. The libraries here are extensive.
They are. And very well looked after, unlike these books. She just sort of looks up at the half that she hasn't got to yet.
Yeah, there's a wrinkling of her nose, and Crystal just goes, "Yes, I saw. What on earth did she do with them? Use them as seats? No, they're definitely in worse repair than that. Did, it's like she took them and used them to clean out a barn or something."
I do not wish to even entertain what she could have done to get them into such a poor condition. The very first one that I opened, the spine cracked. It was the most awful noise.
Ugh, some people have no respect for knowledge. You would think that a headmistress of a university this side would be better.
You would think. But she did not see this university as a means of education. She saw it as a means of money. And so, unfortunately, her priorities were not aligned.
Been, I know those types. They're in far too many places than they should be.
Agreed. I think at this point, it might be appropriate for a paper airplane to come through the window and go tunk into the back of Sally's head, and she'll just sort of rub the back of her head and turn around and pick it up, fold it out. Ah, splendid. And then she'll turn to Crystal and just go, "I've heard back from the Wizards College. The sampler that you have requested is ready for collection now."
Thank you. That's a huge relief to know. I've been trying to. It's been niggling in the back of my mind for months now. I do apologize again for um blowing up like that at your staff. But thank you. I really appreciate this. I promise it'll come back in the same condition that I'll take it in, and she just like, I don't know, like that, like um kind of like um the like, obviously her mind is sort of started like gearing up into work mode at the same time as she's like sorting things through in her head, but also like, no, she actually does like Sally. She's enjoyed the conversation, and she is sorry for the way that she treated the staff before, and uh,
Oh dear. I think Celia will sort of give a small little chuckle and say, "I will be seeing you shortly, so I'm sure that if anything happens, you will let me know."
yes, of course. Um, should like, sorry, like I think she does actually like stumble over her words here, like um the like, should I go get it now? Is that appropriate of me? Are you fine with me leaving, or are you like enjoying this conversation? Because she was actually enjoying herself, but she's not used to asking like that sort of thing.
Oh gosh, Crystal, we gotta socialize you more.
She's so
Oh
bad.
dear.
I love her.
Oh dear. I'm gonna roll an episode for that. Oh, nice. Sally, you've been doing very well. What's your insight? Oh yeah. Oh jeez. Um. Yeah. Okay. 23.
She's not hiding it, and even if she was, she's not good at hiding things like that. Like, she
Yeah.
is
Absolutely.
terrible at people personing.
I think Sally will just sort of give her a little bit of a look and then just go, "You are welcome to collect the item now, or I have time to continue to entertain you here if you wish. There's no pressure. But I can tell you are resisting the siren song of more research. So,
Mm, I'm supposed to be better at taking breaks.
it is something that I have been practicing myself. There's so much to do, and it feels like there is not enough hours in the day to do it. So it has been more than one occasion where Scribbles has fetched me from the office. So I can understand and share that sentiment.
Yes, hmm, I have had a few friends pop by while uh, eyebrows deep in research before because I've not been aware of the time. Amongst other reasons, I sort of promised to try to be better at taking care of myself. So hmm, perhaps this can wait a little longer.
Hmm. And Sally's just going to sort of tap her chin very, very gently and then go, perhaps I could accompany you on a detour, which would facilitate a nice break.
Yes, that sounds like a fair compromise.
She nods and she stands up and, like, she's a Pokemon, but you can tell she's smiling. And she just sort of brushes her dress off slightly and then goes, the main library on campus has a lovely little cafe. Perhaps we could get a coffee and then make our way over to the Wizards College in order to collect your analyzer.
That sounds lovely.
And she's going to nod and then motion for the door. She's like, after you. You may set the pace.
All right then. Um, yeah, she will exit, and I think the pace that she sets is one of those like brisk, but like not rushed paces. Like
Mm-mm.
the busy. So people who are busy don't really have like a slow speed. It's like
Mm.
that their slow speed is still like kind of fast, but like yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And they'll go and they'll get their coffee and have a little meander, and she may or may not encourage Crystal to have a look around the main library while they're there drinking their coffee and, like, not hurrying to get to the Wizards College.
Yeah, I gotta roll. Okay. Yeah, I think that she it does like there's a little bit of that resistance there, but Sally can sort of see also the I want allure, and it doesn't take it like it takes probably a little bit more than maybe she is expecting, but also not that much more than she is expecting to sort of push her to oh yeah, no, we've got time, we can peruse a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Fantastic.
Oh god.
I think that's a
Adorably's
wonderful
fair.
place to leave them.
Yeah, they can ramble about more scientific topics perhaps like than we
Mm.
than we can
Oh, yeah.
actually like move on from the personal stuff to academic stuff, perhaps like topics that they're interested in, or um yeah, bits and pieces of research and stuff. Maybe there is more personal stuff in there. Maybe Crystal eventually politely asks about how her relationship is going.
Well, I mean, it can't be going too bad. They got married.
Yeah, but this is also Crystal. She would probably phrase it in that way of like the I do not know how to ask anything more than this.
Bless.
God, I love her so much.
Wonderful. Well, this has been fun.
Yeah, it's been really nice.
And we're both so like, what is appropriate to talk about right now?
I can see now that they've sort of felt each other out, Crystal probably popping around more often for things like because she has access now, and I think that whenever she does so, she probably will pop in to see Sally if she's there.
Aw, nerd buddies.
Yeah, yeah. Just oh, maybe she brings uh coffee for her. Like, hello,
Love
just
that.
wanted to come in say hi. I picked up these books.
Oh, she'd become very popular around the universe. Time for that.
She needs to make up for her first impression.
Oh dear, oh dear. Wonderful. Oh dear. I suppose we should say goodbye to our audience, hey?
Yeah, yeah, that sounds nice. This has been a delight.
It's been fun. Hope you guys had fun.
Yee.
Have a good time zone.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.